I didn't want to give it up. I was like, what if I don't have my last vice? If I don't have my gummies, then what do I have? Right? Because like it's scary out here. I'm like I'm naked. I'm naked in front of the world right now. I am naked in front of the world.
Welcome back to the Harley Markey podcast, Old Dog, New Tricks.
I'm so happy to be back. Thank you so much for having me. That last experience was just, it was everything.
Yeah?
So I was so excited when I got the call and you wanted to have me back on the show again.
Yeah. You're, one of my favorite guests to have on here.
Thank you. I know you have an incredible lineup.
Yeah.
And just to be in that handful of great guests really, makes me...
It's like an honor just to be nominated,
Yeah, 100%, yes.
Do I still have a snorkel line on my forehead?
You were a good little fishy today. We were epic and we swam with the sharks. Were they leopard sharks and there was a million other tourists out there with us? Yes. Danger level 99. But
Or getting run over by a tourist in a kayak. It was pretty amazing, though. I mean, I think you never do the tourist things in your own backyard. Like, for example, in Bend, like I've gone on all these hikes that Brian's never gone on, and he lived there for, 20 years.
Never been to Crater Lake.
And we live
in Seattle. Never went to the Space Needle.
Yeah, I've been to the Space Needle. I never lived in Seattle. So you never do the tourist things in your own town. So you always see people out there and they're snorkeling and they're kayaking, and we're like, we're gonna go do a tourist thing. But it was amazing. The ocean is so clear. I've never seen such clear ocean, and I've lived by Southern California oceans my whole life. So
it was great.
Good for us.
Maybe next stop the zoo.
I do want to go to the zoo.
I do want to go to the zoo. All right, so this is what's gone on in my life. So I quit drinking almost 3 years ago.
Yeah.
Later this month, 3 years. And that was great, and then all of a sudden, like a couple years into it, I'm like, well, now it's kind of boring. Like, I feel like my big life changes have quit changing. Mm-hmm. So I was like, so I quit.
Not necessarily that you were bored with not drinking. You were just...
No.
Yeah.
You
felt stagnant, I think.
I felt stagnant. I was like, I don't feel better about life anymore.
Yeah.
So, we focus more on exercise. We focus more on a better diet. We focus better on, I had to kick that old nicotine thing that jumped up and grabbed me again.
Yeah.
Dirty old nicotine
addiction.
just talks, this little devil on my shoulder saying, I love you, Brian. I love you, Brian, but you don't love me. I mean, you do, but I don't love you. Gave up sugar for the most part recently also. Just cut it down a lot.
Our trash can contents wouldn't say the same.
No, I was throwing all those out.
Oh.
They were looking at me, talking to me.
Oh.
And all the kids' crappy shit in there.
I thought you really got into it last night.
No, I threw it all away.
Yeah.
But I had one more thing. I was like going, I'm California sober, right? I'm going to continue. I don't like to smoke weed. It makes me feel completely different, but I love to eat weed, right? Edibles, sativa, hybrids. And when I want to have a good time at 5 o'clock, my dinner bell, my drink bell is like, time to shut it down and enjoy my edibles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've loved it. And I go to the restaurants, I'm fun, I'm laughing. Mamie's always like, what are you on? I'm like, I'm on a life. I'm on life, Mamie. And I've been doing that for, the whole time.
Yeah, the whole time. Yeah.
3 years.
I think you really started getting into gummies when we went to Greece. I think that's when you kind of were like, I like gummies. You were still drinking very heavily then.
I liked everything when I was drinking heavily.
But I feel like that's when you were like, these are good.
Did I have a bunch of
found your brand? I think somebody might have had the Caminos that you like on that
I
trip.
love those Caminos.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've gotten really good at picking the different flavors and everything I like. And But on a Saturday, Sunday, the gummies aren't at 5 o'clock. They're at 10 o'clock in the morning, and I walk into the room and I'm like, what? Why'd I walk into the room? I would literally be in a conversation with somebody halfway through a sentence. I was like, what were we talking about? And I didn't see a problem with that at all.
No, he didn't.
I loved it. I was like, whatever. I deserve a vice. I deserve to check my brain out. Until recently. Mm-hmm. Until recently, I realized that I am not able to control my wits, my emotions, the way I would like when I am on gummies.
Yeah.
And so when somebody, I won't say any names, my children, upset me, I cannot lead by example that I want to lead by. I sometimes get irrational. I get very upset. I get emotional, or sometimes I didn't get emotional enough. I'd find myself in a really deep, deep conversation with the kids, and I didn't react the way I wanted to. I wanted to open my heart more, but I constantly in that gummy zone. You're overthinking things. You're like going, oh my God, and you have a little bit of anxiety, and you're going, oh, should I do this? Should I do that? And I was like going, gosh. And I had a couple episodes recently where I was like, I want my wits about me. And do you have anything to say, or just me keep talking? I have to get to someplace. Okay.
No,
It's like,
I can chime in at any time. I'm just letting you go.
So a couple intense situations where I got more emotional and more emotionally charged. And when somebody's saying something to you and it's not your junk, you need to deflect it, or it's not yours, so don't take it on. Under the usage of gummies, I took things on, and I was like, oh, that's not true. I'm not, and I got it very emotional, and that's not how you can help guide people, right? And I want to be a good guide. I want to be a peaceful warrior, right?
Well, we do talk about in our podcast about us, like if one person keeps their center, it doesn't turn into an
100%.
argument. And when you're arguing with your children, as the adult, it's your job to keep your center.
Let's be honest. These are not children. These
Teenagers,
are young adults.
It still is as a parent. Like, yes, teenagers get under your skin. We all screw up. I mean, I don't have teenagers, but you know, they get you. You're not always behaving perfectly. But in general, as the adult, as the parent, it's your job to keep your center, and you were noticing these things weren't allowing you to do that.
Yes, the whole time while I was drinking, I made some bad conversational choices where I would accuse them. And so people are going, oh, you probably shouldn't talk about your kids on this. I'm not talking about them. This is entirely about me. They're just typical teenagers, great kids, and they say stuff to get underneath your skin. They say stuff when they don't know how to handle their emotions. They say stuff like that. And
yeah, if you think he's talking about his kids specifically,
I think I'm talking about all kids.
You don't have teenagers.
Oh, yeah. And so I'm just saying that this is something that worked out very well for me because I've been a very reactionary person my whole life. If somebody says something that pisses me off, I'll fucking go at it. Once I was on LexiPro. Oh, that was my other big, huge thing I gave up recently,
wow, look
like
at you.
2 years ago.
Yeah.
I gave up LexiPro because LexiPro allowed me, when somebody pissed me off, I'd be like, oh, yeah, okay. Just mental check it. I didn't react. So getting off LexiPro, that's what it was. I moved into gummies much heavier after LexiPro.
Yeah, it's Lexapro, but yeah.
Lexi's
cuter. It's Lexa Pro.
A?
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got off that mood mender, that thing that made me feel all right.
We mentioned it in a podcast, but he ended up getting off of it because he was really bad with remembering to take it every day and refilling it on time. And so one time, I think he hadn't refilled his prescription, and like, I don't know, he was going on like 3 days without it. And all of a sudden he's like, Danielle, I think I'm having like fucking seizures or something. Like I'm getting all these electric shocks in my brain. What's going on? And being a psychology major, I was like, when was the last time you took your Lexapro? And he's like, oh, shit. And I was like, yeah, you're getting brain zaps. And he was like, I don't want to be on something that literally causes me to get brain zaps if I miss a couple days.
And that was a big wean off.
Yeah. Oh, it was right before you opened Hawkeye and Huckleberry Lounge, too, which everybody was like, are you sure this is a good time?
So I was cracked. And so I just started realizing, and then I got off caffeine, right? I still love coffee. People are like, how do you get off coffee? I didn't get off coffee. I love coffee. But I got off caffeine, which was another, like, you can't imagine, you don't know how powerful these things are until you get off of them. And it's horrible, and you get depressed, and you're like, oh, God, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm okay. So I've gotten off all these giant life vices I'm on, right? And it's come down to that it was my weed, my THC, that is the one masking my true emotions.
Yeah.
And I've gotten to this place now, and it's only been a week and a half. I did this when I was on caffeine. You're like, are you sure you want to say you're off caffeine? at a week. And I was like, I'm convinced I feel so much better already that I can't go back. And I'm still off of my caffeine. And I occasionally I will have a Coca-Cola, especially when I'm eating really dirty street food, because we read that if you're ever eating dirty street food, you should probably drink a Coca-Cola because it'll kill everything. So I occasionally do drink a Coca-Cola in honor of my great father, Michael Malarkey, who lived on Coca-Cola his entire life.
My mom's favorite drink was also a Coca-Cola. So.
Never drank a glass of water a day in his life. Man. Coca-Cola or whiskey. Never a beer either. Interesting. So anyway, so I decided I would get off it for 1 week. That's what I was going to do. Mm-hmm. And now I'm a little over a week. And 3 days into it, all of a sudden, I'm like, I felt that peace I've been looking for. And so I had a couple opportunities to have good conversations. And all I wanted to be is because you love to have conversations. And I've always been he's too short ADHD. He doesn't have the patience for conversation. Well, I realized that I actually kind of do when I'm not high.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I've got nothing else to do. I might as well have a conversation. I can't just look at the clouds and feel happy. I can't just make jokes inside my head. Like, I might as well engage in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I think you are almost 53. And
young
for the first time, probably since you were like 14.
Probably.
You're like really actually sober. And... yeah, I mean, let that sink in for a second. That's crazy.
Crazy.
And I've mentioned, I think we have it on record on this podcast a few times before, that you definitely had like an addiction to your gummies. But for all of us, it was a much better.
No. Okay, just a sec. I would like to clarify my addiction to gummies. 5 milligrams was the most I ever took. So true. You hardcore gummy people are going to be like, oh, God, this guy's pathetic.
Occasionally a 10, and you kind of had to peel him off the ceiling if you accidentally took 10.
Yeah, it was a good night. It was a good night.
But I was like, in the scheme of vices, like, I prefer this to him drinking. You know, I trust him when he's on gummies. He's silly, he's happy. But I did wonder, like, hey, is the after effects like maybe causing you something? Like how tightly wound you are on Monday mornings, and the kind of swings. Like, I think it might be doing more to you than you think, and I think you were in a little bit of denial about that.
I didn't want to give it up.
Yeah,
I didn't want to give it up. I was like, what if I don't have my last vice? If I don't have my gummies, then what do I have? Right? Because. Yeah. Like, it's scary out here. I'm like, I'm naked. I'm naked in front of the world right now. I am naked in front of the world. And I go to the restaurants where, everyone else is drinking and having so much fun. And I'm like, when I was on gummies, I was my own kind of drunkenness. Like, I don't know. I'm just whatever. I'm bullshitting. I'm just having fun. And I forget what I'm talking about. No. And it's been scary. And I went to the Hawkeye and Huckleberry Lounge a couple times this weekend. I went to, I was backstage at a concert. I went to big social events. And I realized, oh my God, I'm having more fun without gummies, because gummies, I'm like, oh, I have to keep going. Oh, stay engaged. Don't forget what you're talking about. Oh, like, it's kind of work. Like, oh God.
They can make you like a little paranoid, and
you get a little paranoid. You get a little what? But I'm like going, do I look all right? Getting dressed to go out on the evening in gummies is the dumbest thing. Like, don't ever eat the gummy before you have your clothes on and you feel good. Yeah, because if you're stuck in the halfway, you're like, oh shit, I'm not comfortable. I don't look good. I shouldn't be wearing this. I mean, you get very indecisive on gummies.
I've seen you change your outfit like 5 or 6 times. The last time actually, I think it was one of the straw that broke the camel's back when you went out and you got in a fight with
one of
your children on the way home.
That may have been the straw that broke the camel's back.
Yeah, on your way out, you couldn't decide what you wanted to wear, and you changed like 6 times. And I was like,
and then I didn't even wind up going to a restaurant. I just went straight to pick up the child.
And it reminded me of kind of like the fights that we would get in when you would just like totally like melt down and lose it. And I hadn't necessarily seen that happen to you as much in the same way when you're arguing with your kids. And we had talked a little bit about like how I think this is kind of a progression of your healing. And like, you weren't ready to get rid of gummies at another time. They were a crutch that served a purpose. But I think you've been doing a lot of work on yourself, and that's why it became increasingly uncomfortable. Like, that's why you're like, I think I need to get off of these. And you talked with your therapist and you kind of talked about how you've taken your armor off and you've kind of taken down some of these walls that you've had built up. And then that leaves you much more sensitive and it leaves you much more vulnerable.
Which gummies is all about being sensitive and more vulnerable.
Yeah. And
Yes.
so now you kind of need your wits about you. And that was like, it was just, I think it's a natural progression of the work you've been doing on yourself that you outgrew your gummies.
Oh gosh. So yes, said evening with dispute, I had to pull the car over and just sit on the side of the road because you can't physically harm teenagers, is my understanding. I do believe you go to jail for those sorts of things. So to keep myself out of jail and keep my teenager out of harm's way, I had to get out of the car because it was just being injustice. I'm a Libra. We love justice. Like that's not right. You shouldn't do that. And when people violate those things, it just melts me. And I just I couldn't even cope because what was being done was, I thought, so wrong and not of value that I had to sit on the side of a road. I couldn't be in the same car. And I just had to sit out there for 30 minutes, just breathing. Got home, drove home without conversation. And literally I got in bed at 8:30 at night and just curled up and I was dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, I never want to feel like this again. And it wasn't entirely, if I had no conflict in life, I had nothing better to do than sit on a beach, I could fucking eat gummies and probably drink alcohol every day. But the fact that I have to actually tune in and be present and make smart decisions that are good for me and for others around me, I realized that I don't have my best judgment under gummies. And do you know when something can go wrong, Daniela?
Anytime.
Fucking anytime. And that's the problem. So if I don't want to say I've given up gummies for my entire life, because if I am in Costa Rica sitting on the beach and there's no phone next to me, I might take some and enjoy the blue sky and the waves crashing, because I'm not making any decisions. But right now, I'm constantly on alert. I don't know what's going on with the business, with a kid, with what's going on. I have to make that right decision. And as you said, through therapy, I've opened myself up. I've looked at all my things. How can I get better? How can I be a better person? How can I treat people better? How can I be happier in life? And now I'm so vulnerable. Gummies only make me more vulnerable, right? And just in this week and a half, it took about day 3, day 4, all of a sudden conflict would come and I'd go, I've got this under control. I don't need to be triggered. I know this isn't something I've done. This is somebody else's reflections upon me. So I've come up with this new theory in life.
I like this theory.
I have a superhero. So I've taken my armor off, because when people throw insults or come at you and they throw stuff off your armor, it can bounce.
Yeah.
And then it's laying on the ground. They can pick it up and use it again.
Or it might stab them back in the chest.
It could bounce back at him back.
Yeah. Yes. Which, if it's your teenagers, you don't want that. If it's an evil person, you're maybe
Yeah.
Boomerang that knife.
Well, I'm really fast too, so I think I could outrun the evil person.
Okay.
But for family members, you have to stand and take it, because I'm the adult here.
Yeah.
And so armor, I didn't want it reflecting, hitting them. Hitting somebody else in the room, hitting us in life, or falling on the ground and being able to use again. So I took the armor off.
Yeah.
And now I have a protective, what did I call it?
Your cosmic skin.
My cosmic skin. It's not a shield. Cosmic skin. And this is, I programmed it like this. I take it. Throw it at me. I want it. Get it out of your system. Get it out. Get it out. Throw it at me. And I'm not going to absorb it. I'm wearing the skin. It absorbs it and it dissolves it. And it doesn't hurt me at all. And it allows me, because I want people to get, in my immediate family, my children, I want them to get that anger out. I want them to get the muck, the shit out. Yeah. And I don't want it either, but get it out. So my cosmic skin, now I'm like a superhero, and it absorbs it, and it doesn't hurt me. And I can go,
You
yes.
transmute it.
Transmute.
Yeah.
Do not know what it means, but I transmute it.
Yeah.
And so it is really, now I'm waking up in the morning feeling even clearer. And I thought I would have too much energy because I thought the gummies kind of calm me.
Yeah.
But the gummies actually hype me up.
Yeah.
And again, I was using sativa gummies, just
Yeah.
like it's like me doing cocaine, right? It's like, ugh, like the guy who has all the energy in the world, give him more uppers, you know? And so we figured out that didn't work for me, thank God, in the early 20s. But getting off sativa and just really being present, I keep telling you, I'm down to water and air right now. I just need water and air and a little nourishment, and I will survive. Exercise to like make sure I breathe more air and drink more water.
Well, I think we also like there's so many of us that are our own pharmacologists out there these days. We're like, oh, in the morning, pour caffeine.
Pharmacologist, really good name.
Thanks. You pour caffeine on yourself in the morning and you light yourself up, and then you might take more caffeine throughout the day to keep going. And then you get done from work and you're like, I need
at 4 o'clock you do a sugar crash. Like, I just need a little bite of sugar or something.
And then you upload yourself with sugar, and then you're starting to come down, and it's after work, and you're a little hyped up and sugar crash, and so you're like, now it's time for the booze, and so then you have the booze, and then you don't go to bed as early as you want, or you don't sleep as well as you want, so then you wake up, and then you even
take a sleeping pill maybe. Yeah.
You might take a sleeping pill. You might take a Xanax, a sleeping pill, and then you're going to wake up, and then you're going to need even more caffeine to cut through all that grogginess. And these things seem like somewhat innocent, but you actually are making yourself feel so much worse. You're like, oh, caffeine makes me feel better. Or, I mean, here I am drinking my tea, but this is matcha. Alcohol, is the thing that helps me relax at the end of the day. But if you are able to cut all those things out, you might actually realize, oh, naturally, I'm actually pretty happy. I'm pretty at peace.
No. You're not going to figure that out. It's true. I don't even know what's going on. Like, in like 5 days, I'm 7-8 days into nothing, and I was a little scared. I'm backstage at a big musical concert this last weekend, and people are dancing and conversating and taking shots and smoking joints, and I'm just like got a bottle of water, and I'm just like, yeah. And you know what? I fucking felt better inside my skin than I can remember. Like, I was dancing and passing no judgment on myself, having fun. I was looking at other people making asses of themselves, and they are related to me. And I was like going, it's okay, because it's not me. They're having fun, so it's fun. I mean, like, they're not harming anyone. And so I was less judgmental.
Yeah.
And more comfortable because I didn't have my brain with that weed kind of like overthink, or the alcohol just going, I don't need to think, and I could just be completely dumb. I actually had an amazing time.
Yeah. And I think we've like made weed somewhat innocent in our culture, which I think in a lot of ways, like it can be, like you're much less likely to like crash your car on weed or cheat on your partner on weed. But weed has gotten so strong, and I think it does have a greater impact on our like mindset and our energy levels than we realize. From a former weed smoker myself, I wasn't as much a gummy person sometimes, but for probably a decade of my life, I smoked every night because I thought it helped me sleep better. And every single night after I'd smoke, I would get really paranoid and think about all the things that I was stressed out about.
You start replaying everything in your brain, going, did I say that right? Did I do that right? Should I have done that?
Is that weird pain I'm feeling? Like, am I dying? Am I have some rare form of some disease? Is this person gonna, combust? I don't know. Just the weirdest, most random paranoid shit that would last for like 30 minutes, and then the weed would wear off a little, and then it would make me tired, and I'd go to sleep. And I'm like, I chose to do this to myself every night for like 10 years. Like, why? And I'm like a smart, conscious person, and I still did that. And I think yours wasn't as clear. I don't think it was as clear to you that it was causing that. But like, it's sometimes like, why are we putting ourselves in these handcuffs in a lot of ways?
Roller coasters.
Yeah. Like, why are we putting ourselves on this roller coaster? And now I don't smoke weed.
Society says it's all right, and society says you should do it. And the reason that people love weed so much is because it's a fucking lot better than alcohol, you know? And that's why it's like, yeah, you're not going to beat your kids and cheat on your wife and
But let's bring back the weed of the 70s, you know? Like
the light little stuff.
Yeah, this shit is way too strong.
Daniela, I'm kind of getting to this place where I don't really need vices.
No, I know. We don't need it. But I mean, in general, I have been somewhat sober. I mean, I do drink occasionally now, but I'm like the longer
I beg her. I was like, get shit faced. Like I play, like have fun, smoke, drink, do something. She's so fucking boring.
But it's because I have like stopped doing all these things and I just feel so good. Like for the most part, like I feel good every single day and I feel good when I wake up in the morning. And so sometimes when I have like plans to drink with girlfriends and I know they're excited to drink with me, like I have this slight feeling of dread because I'm like, either I feel like I'm going to disappoint them or I'm not going to feel as good. And of course I'm like, okay, if I don't want to drink, I'm not going to drink. But it's more like I don't look forward to drinking anymore. I don't look forward to doing things anymore because I'm like, that's going to take me away from my own natural high that feels so good and feels so stable. Like it's like life can be so crazy. Life can be so unexpected. But like knowing that within myself I feel stable, like that makes me feel safe in the world. Like no matter what comes my way, I have the means to handle it when I have all my wits about me.
It's crazy. Again, like I said, I was so scared of who I really was. I mean, scared of like what me off of everything is. And then you have to think about it. What do young children have in their system, right? Who are the happiest people on this little planet?
Yeah.
Young little kids laughing and giggling and playing. What do they have?
Yeah,
Got a little sugar running through their system from time to time. But you know what? They're just in their own body. And we spend our whole life trying to get out of our body. But our goal, speaking to the shaman and stuff, is like, what is it to be back in your body and being present in your body? And really, it is a very calming thing. I did this breath work a couple weeks ago that I was so stressed out about. And it's where you just kind of breathe so deep. You're going into like this zone, this place through just natural breath. And you're like, oh, this isn't comfortable. I should stop. But I had a therapist. I had a guide, coach, a guide with me. And he's like, oh, keep going. And it was just this breath work. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh, I hate this. I feel like I'm drowning. I don't like this. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, I'm in the most peaceful place. Like I always jokingly say, I have a goal to levitate one day. I want to be so light and so without negativity and fear and stress and childhood trauma that I actually can float. I almost made it. This was it. And it was just from my breath. And so the biggest natural high is better than any concocted high I could ever imagine. And I'm like, that was right then that was right about the time when I was like, I need to get to this so I can get to this place naturally, because I have taken off everything. I want to get to that place where I am so happy and I can deal with people, and I want to get to that place of peace.
Yeah, where you're the calm in the storm.
Calm in the storm. And I have my conversations in this last 4 or 5 days with those younger people in my life. I finally have it. I'm not arguing. I'm not upset with injustice. I'm not upset with their anger and their meanness. I'm like, I'm here for you. And I'm not sad about it either. And because on the weed, I was sad. I was trying to be too vulnerable.
The week before he quit weed, I was like, holy shit, you need some fucking help. It was like a really, really rough week.
Yeah, and you did say something, because I've been doing all this self-help and therapy and stuff like that. You're like, I hope that's the darkest before the dawn.
Yeah.
And it really was. But it took something from me to get me past that darkness. Because the weed, I was starting to take the weed more and more and more to deal with.
It was your crutch. It was your coping
It was
mechanism.
my crutch,
yeah.
And it made me more vulnerable. So I was very soft when I didn't need to be hard, but I didn't need to be soft in these conversations. And
you didn't need to be porous. You could be soft, but you can't be porous.
Porous, I get that.
You can be soft
like
and bend,
porous.
But you don't want holes inside you where it can get
absorbs.
into. Yeah.
Yeah, so I had to put my cosmic skin on.
Yeah.
And the cosmic skin only came alive when I was off everything and I was clear enough. Because the thing is that when you ask yourself a question, like, how can I fix that? How can I get through this? When you don't have mind altering substances in your body, your brain will actually give you an answer. Your heart will give you an answer. Your spirit will give you an answer. Your spirit guides will give you an answer. And you just have to be patient and breathe and drink some fucking water. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh. And you've got me journaling, which I'm doing better at, still not doing it every day. But all of a sudden, it's amazing what is in your hand and in your pen. Sometimes you have nothing to write. Just start saying, I have nothing to write. There's nothing I want to write. And all of a sudden you're going, but what if I wrote this? And then I wrote this. It just starts coming out of you. It's just it's your wand, your magical wand. And you're like, I didn't even know I was thinking that, but it really makes sense now that it has on paper. And that's where I came up with the cosmic skin, because I was going, I don't want to wear armor because I don't need to protect myself. But again, porous. I like that. I was being too porous and the weed made me absorb. And I can't absorb. I have to protect myself. So if you don't have a cosmic skin, I can get you a real good deal on one. It's called Free, and it's from Freedom.
I think the crazy thing is, too, just to wrap this up, is like, I think people often turn to substances like weed, like alcohol, like anything else when they don't feel good, like when they feel empty inside, they're going through a breakup, something difficult is happening. They're like, well, I need to drink or I need to take this because I'm having a rough time. And ironically, like that's the time that you should avoid those things the most, because that is when you're the most sensitive. That is when you really need all of your inner strength. And so, I think it's important that if you are going through a tough time, the fastest way to get out of it is not by bypassing it with substances like that. It's by inviting clarity in. And you can use substances.
Dealing with it. And
dealing with it head on, because you're going to be so much stronger to be able to do that. And neither of us are saying like we'll never take substances again or there's no point in them. But as Brian said, like if I'm going to take a weed gummy, I want to be on the beach in Costa Rica with no worries at all. Like if I want to have a glass of wine or a drink, I want to be like super happy and deciding that I'm just going to like add to my brief joy a little bit, like, which alcohol rarely does, to be honest. But you don't want to come at it from a place of lack. You want to come at it from a place of abundance. And then you're going to have a better trip on your weed or your mushroom or your alcohol, instead of filling a void. And you're going to wake up the next day and probably be okay too, because you're not going to overdo it. Like when you feel happy, you're like, oh, I'm not going to have 4 glasses of wine. I'm going to have 1.
Well, I would. Okay. Even when I was happy, I'd be like,
okay. I wouldn't.
In my world, if a little bit is good, then a lot is great. Yeah, same thing, but also I started all my drinking and my weed smoking and stuff out of pure fun.
Yeah.
And then when something's not
but
good for me,
I think that's
when something's not good for me, then I'm like, well, if I did this, would it be fun again?
Yeah.
Would I have fun? Like when I'm really stressed out with a business decision or with family matters or kids or this, I was like, I will take a gummy because within 45 minutes, I'll be like, I'm okay again. It's okay. That stuff's not affecting me anymore. But it still is affecting me. I'm just now going to get out of my mind for a little while, and then I'll really feel, messed up tomorrow morning when I'm trying to get caught up because I didn't have that time to ask my clear mind what would have solved these problems to give me peace of mind.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's also interesting because I think a lot of times people start doing drugs in adolescence when you are the most unsure of yourself and you are like, it's a really hard time in your developmental stage. And I think that makes it so much harder on kids to be like, oh, I'm experimenting with drugs and alcohol when I'm already a little bit unstable right now. And so it's like, you think it's just all fun and games, but I think that's what leads young people down a bad path is they're at such a vulnerable stage in their life. So I don't know, it just made me think of it because you said you started it for fun, but I think, you talk about how that was, I think high school was good for you, but then it was like
I peaked in high school.
Yeah. I didn't.
No, I didn't. I didn't at all. I did actually. I had a really good high school. My last couple years. I do see a lot of high school kids right now, and I'm like, oh Jesus, that one is peaking in high school.
Yeah.
Like, whoa.
It's all downhill from here.
Enjoy. You're gonna. Yep. So just when you thought I couldn't give up anything else, I gave up my weed gummies.
See if it helps that sperm count.
Sperm count.
No, just kidding.